as you can see from the Miro board, there's lots of writing on the left. There's an introduction to what we're doing. That's for me, so I don't forget, stepwise what to do. So we've looked at cells, organization, things you should have really covered in year 11. Sorry, year 11, year 10. But what I want to do now is I want to look at the stomach in detail. But I don't just want to go, year 10, here's the work. This is what you need to know, and here are a bunch of questions. I don't want to do that. I want to have a look at really powerful learning strategies. And I'm going to be really honest about it. When I was your age, my teachers didn't tell me anything about revision. So what I used to do was read notes. And reading notes is really ineffective. It doesn't work that well. And it was only when I got older did I really learn how to learn. So we're going to have a look at a couple of different ways of learning. And I have problems with this because a lot of students, they've done things that work in primary, they've done things that work before, but as we get older, as we look at more complicated abstract things, they don't work. So we're going to have a look at the stomach in some detail. We're going to look at bullet pointing the information. I've given you an example, and I would bullet point certain things. The fact that it's made of smooth muscle. The fact that smooth muscle is really cool. You don't have to think about contracting it; it just happens. Um, it's a glandular tissue. It releases hormones and chemicals. Lumen, I love the term lumen. Lumen just means, actually, let's do a bit of tech. I love tech. So when you've got a pipe and your alimentary canal, your food pipe, your esophagus, your small intestine, your large intestine, they are pipes. They're actually technically not inside us. So when you've got a pipe, the hole in the middle, that's called the lumen. That's where all your digested and undigested food will travel through. So one thing you do is you bullet point things. So you bullet point things like what's a lumen, where it is, and you could put a little diagram next to it. I do. I'm very diagrammatical. That's how my brain works. I love pictures. I used to love art. So the other thing, what goes on in your stomach, you've got protein digestion. So these are bullet points. So the first part is I'm going to talk you through the different parts of the stomach and what really goes on there. Then what you're going to do is create your little bullet points. You're more than welcome to look at mine, not steal mine. You can add things on, all right? And after that, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to use mind maps. And Miro is really good. And I've pinned it there, and you can see I use a lot of mind maps, especially with year 11. So there are mind maps. If you haven't got it, you go to the plus button. Just go on the plus button, type mind map, and mind maps will come up. And for me, mind maps are awesome sauce. I when I was studying, I found they're really. I'm not talking about GCSEs. When I got to A level is so different. There's so much content, and if you work really hard, it's not enough. So you've got to learn how your brain works really well. So for me, mind maps were awesome. If you don't know how to use mind maps on Miro, just select a mind map, go across, and click, and we're going to put in here stomach. It's a bit small. I'm just going to make it a bit big. All right, and you should have your bullet pointed list of things. So, oopsie days, I don't want to move that. So you can add things like, and we're going to add more things. There's one, your stomach is an organ. So it doesn't matter. You see these pluses popping up, and it doesn't matter which direction you go in. I go in every direction, so I might go up and type, well, it's an organ. Actually, I like reading so little when it comes to technical work. I don't write it's an organ. I just write organ. All right. The other kind of thing, well, I don't need to really write anything else there, but I could add that it's made of different tissues. So the organ that is the stomach is made of different tissues, and put tissues there. I'm just going to make some space and grab that and drag it across. Move across. There we go. Oh no, you want to bounce back up there. All right, let's see if we can move this down. So, tissues. Now, I can move to the right. In other words, I know from my bullet point that one of the tissues it was made of, and I mentioned it, was smooth muscle. So I'm just going to do something. It doesn't always have, that's a bit colourless. It's a bit meh. So I might put down here a sticky note and say smooth muscle. And make it colourful. Now, normally I wouldn't say that. If you do pen and paper, that consumes a lot of time. But here, and we'll change the type. I can make this thicker. Oh, I've got a dotted line. Let's make it a normal line. Line jumps? I no. So, well, it hasn't changed. So there we got smooth muscle. So you have this interlink of all your bullet points. Okay, so now going back to your stomach, the things you need to know about your stomach, all right? The things you need to know. Your one tissue is glandular tissue. Tissue is made from cells, and these cells secrete things like enzymes and hormones, all right? You need to know one of the tissues your stomach is made of is epithelial tissue. Epithelial is a word that you're going to come across a lot. It just means lining. Smooth muscle. The thing I like about smooth muscle is you've got them in your abs as well. I don't have abs anymore. But you've got smooth muscle in your abs. And they're very different. And the stomach is for the digestion of proteins. That's it. My main thing today is let's see if you can bullet point the main contents. Then, after you've made a bullet point of the main contents, create a mind map linking all the different information together. So we're linking cells, tissues, we're linking organs, and now we're linking the digestive system to everything from last term. All right, I'm going to stop my recording.